you can't come to the phone right now. I'm listening to Party Talk Podcast.
Welcome to the Party Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Cooper Keimig, here with the duo today. We got Commanders fan Jay Knorr and Mr. Fantasy. All right, let's get started. Today's episode will be about week 12 of the NFL season. And before we get into week 12, let's review last week's picks. Who was your start of the week last week, Chris?
Well, last week I had a not start of the week, and I went with Stefon Diggs and Josh Allen. Diggs, I nailed that one. He was only 4 for 27, not even close to the end zone. He didn't do nothing. The Dolphins locked him down pretty good. Or it was the Jets, right? Yeah, Jets locked him down pretty good. But Josh Allen squeaked in a 23.5-point game with 3 touchdowns. He had some guy going right down the middle for like a 75-yarder, but take that away from him.
Was that who had the big touchdown?
He's kind of a sleeper. I haven't looked at him yet this year, but if I get desperate, he is somebody I'm going to look at. And I said Kincaid would have a good game. He was 6 for 46 with 10 PPR points. So that was my not start of the week last week.
Yep, that's a good call there. My start of the week was Trey McBride. He only finished with 9.3 PPR points. He had the best matchup available. He had 7 targets, 5 catches, and 43 yards. Could have been a lot better, but 9.3 PPR points out of a tight end isn't too bad. Surprisingly, he finished with the second most targets on the team, but is behind Greg Dortch, who, he's on a few rosters last year, but he kind of came out of nowhere last week. All right, let's take a look. Who was your pit of the week, Chris, from last week?
I went with Devontae Adams of the Raiders. He's been struggling this whole season. He finished with 7 for 82 and a touchdown. That was him average that last year. I mean, he does have decent stats, but nowhere near a second round or a late first round pick, I don't think.
Yep. And I didn't have a pit of the week last week, so let's take a look at our sleepers from last week. I had Rashee Rice. He had a meh kind of week. He had 8.2 PPR points, 4 catches, 5 targets, 42 yards. I was hoping him coming out of his bye, he'd be more involved, but his route tree stayed exactly the same. He's running the same type of routes and could have been a lot better. And he had the best matchup available for wide receivers and didn't really turn into much. Who was your sleeper last week, Chris?
I had Ty Chandler of the Vikings. He was 10 for 73 yards with a beautiful 31-yard run on a fake punt.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Madison's there. He did come back from his concussion. He vultured 18 touches from him, but I do think he is the number 1 back in Minnesota in my book. I think Madison's got some photos of KOC somewhere keeping him as the lead back, but not real sure about that.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell just said today. Somebody asked him about Alexander Madison's fumbles, if they'll impact his touches. Kevin O'Connell said it's very important that our guys understand how important it is to possess the football. We have to be critical and make sure there's an accountability factor there. So the way I interpret that is they're sick and tired of Alexander Madison fumbling, and I could see Ty Chandler getting maybe 60% of the touches, Madison getting 40. The only thing preventing that is Ty Chandler. He had pretty bad blitz pickup, which I think that's where Josh Dobbs' interception came from. He's under pressure. Alexander Madison, he's a pretty good pass protector, so that's the only thing I see there. Taking a look at our pickups we had last week, Chris talked about Devin Singletary. He had a fantastic week, 22 rushes for 112 yards. He's had back-to-back 100-yard games, and he had a touchdown. That was a great call by Chris to pick up Devin Singletary. I had a couple pickups. I had Kenny and Wagnu of the Vikings. As I stated in that, it only mattered if Alexander Madison missed that week, but he ended up playing. So Kenny didn't see much work like I expected. Odell was one of my other pickups. That was a big one. He had 15.6 PPR points, 7 targets, 4 catches, 116 yards. He had a vintage game. Mark Andrews is most likely out for the season. He has a chance to come back in the playoffs, but he's definitely done for the regular season. I think Odell could see a lot more targets moving forward as well. After Andrews left, he had by far the most target share with Lamar, and Odell's probably sitting on some waivers. So if you need a wide receiver, you better go and grab him before it's too late. And my last pickup was Antonio Gibson. He didn't end up playing. I know he's limited in practice right now. I hope he plays. Maybe we can get a little throwback to Thanksgiving Day a couple years ago with Antonio Gibson. But yep, those were our pickups of the week. My bet of the week last week was a disaster because that Thursday night game was just injury after injury. My parlay was I had Joe Burrow. He needed his yards, but he ended up getting hurt. Now he's out for the year. Mark Andrews needed a few more yards. He got hurt. Now he's out for the year. Jamar Chase, he's pretty close. I don't know. He only had 2 catches. But his quarterback's out for the year, obviously. And Keaton Mitchell, it didn't end up hitting. But that parlay was kind of cruised. All right. Let's take a look at this week's Week 12 predictions. You want to start off with your start of the week, Jay Nor?
Yeah, they're Coop. Rough week 11 for me, man. It's all around. But yeah, so I'm looking for just a better week of football overall here in Week 12. You said we're starting with start of the week, you said?
Yep, start of the week.
Yeah, so my start of the week has been a guy I've been on all season, I'm a huge fan of his. I've been watching him since college. Tank Dell, I actually drafted him in 2 leagues this season. And, it's kind of risky. I got him, late. I don't know, one of my, last couple picks, we went on drafting a lot of leagues, not a lot of people. But I've been on him since college, so I picked him up in 2 leagues. And he's been a great pickup. And this week, he's playing who are they playing? They're playing the Jags secondary, who's been not bad, not good. So, and he's clearly emerged as Stroud's favorite target these last couple of weeks. He had a few weeks before he got injured early in the season where he was looking that way. Then he came back kind of slow, but he's emerged as Stroud's favorite target once again. And yeah, I really like him. I feel like he's a must start at this point.
So you said you drafted him in a few leagues.
Yep.
Are your teams pretty good in those 2 where you drafted him since you got him pretty late?
Yeah, so the one league I have him in, I'm actually it's my big money league. I'm 8-3 right now, first in the league, solo first in the league, and my team's kind of stacked. I'm projected 135 this week, and it's a 12-man PPR. I'm projected 135. So he's I have CeeDee Lamb and Ayuk too, so he's my flex play every week.
Yeah. It was kind of the same. I drafted a good amount of Sam Laporta and Devon Achane this year. Devon Achane's hurt right now, but he kind of carried me the first couple weeks. So, if you're getting those players for such low draft capital, it can really change your season. But to kind of match your start of the week, Chris's start of the week is CJ Stroud. He's had, over the last 3 weeks, he's had over 336 passing yards, 8 touchdowns. The rookie is rewriting the record books. He's off to an insane start. He's having one of the best rookie seasons from a quarterback I can ever remember. I'm only 21, but that's still insane to think about of how many good quarterbacks there's been in the league. Yeah. He's putting the Texans in a playoff berth right now, and he should have a great week against the Jaguars. So my start of the week, and I really need this to come through, is Stefon Diggs. Over the last 2 weeks, he's scored 6.4 PPR points and 6.7 PPR points. He's had some tough matchups, though. Like you said, he played the Jets. I believe he had the Broncos the week before, their defense is changing around. They're on a 4-game winning streak. I'm hoping this is a bounce-back week for Stefon Diggs. He's got a dream matchup against the Eagles, who give up a ridiculous amount of fantasy points to wide receivers and quarterbacks. I think that's mostly because of how good the Eagles' offense is and not how bad their defense is. And the fact that nobody can run on this Eagles defense, so they have to pass. I do think this is Stefon Diggs' bounce-back week. and I really need it because I have him in a league and I've lost 3 in a row because of it. So
Yeah, Eagles secondaries look terrible for some reason. They haven't looked well. Terrible's not the right. They've ranked terribly. They haven't looked that bad, but they have not been good by any means. So good matchup for him.
all right, let's take a look at our pit of the week. Chris has a pit of the week that I think I've used in the past, and it's kind of coming through fruition. His pit of the week is Derrick Henry. He had 10 rushes for 38 yards. He's losing more and more playing time to Tajay Spears. He's really game script dependent. I mean, if they're in a game where they're losing, he's not really going to get the ball at all. So I mean, it's hard to not start Derrick Henry in your leagues. I don't have him in any, but I could imagine like who he is and what he can do. But if he's seeing 40% of the the running back share, it's hard to start him. And I can't see them being projected to win many more games this year. So for that reason, he's going to be stuck in the pits for a little bit. My pit of the week is going to be every Steelers player besides Jalen Warren with a question mark. I wrote this before the Matt Canada firing, but I can't start anybody this week unless you really have to. I'd like to see what this offense looks like. There's no way it can be worse than what it has been. Kenny Pickett has looked awful. But Jalen Warren has been like the one bright spot on this team. There's some people out there who are predicting Jalen Warren to get even more snaps, and they're looking to get Pickens the ball more, which will help because he's a dog. But for right now, I'm putting all Steelers players, maybe Jalen Warren in the pits. I'd just like to see what they do this week with a new coordinator. Did you have a pit of the week, Jaden?
Yeah, I actually do. So, well, it's kind of bad because 2 of these pit of the weeks are actually on that fantasy team I just spoke of. But my pit of the week is Devin Singletary. I've had him. I picked him up on the waivers a few weeks ago when I got rid of Damian Pierce. I kind of foreseen, him getting more touches and stuff. So he had a very good last 2 weeks, as we spoke of earlier. But he's playing a Jags run defense that is pretty, they're solid. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. Damian Pierce is probably coming back this week. And with them playing the Jags, I could either see – I like Texans a lot, but I could either see a negative game script for him or it's going to be a shootout between Stroud and T-Law. And the Texans like Damian Pierce a lot. So with him coming back, I can't see Damian Singletary keeping up the low production he's had these last couple of weeks. So he's gonna be my pit of the week. And I also have Derrick Henry in my fans team, and yeah, I'm iffy about him too. So
yeah. I saw that today Damian Pierce did return to practice.
Yep.
I'm a big Damian Pierce fan. At the beginning of the year, the whole Texans offensive line was banged up. They're using 3rd stringers, 4th stringers. They're pretty healthy right now. With Damian Pierce back, it's hard to trust either of them if they're going to be split 50-50. Even 60-40 is still hard to trust because they're a pass-first team. So that's a good call. Keep them in the pits for a little bit, see how the backfield works out.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's take a look at the waiver wire. There's some pretty good players on here.
Hey, Coop.
Yeah, who you got on the waiver wire, Chris?
I'm back now, guys. Jaden Reed of the Packers. He's only rostered in 19% of leagues. And with Aaron Jones out this week, or maybe even longer, I think they're going to start passing the ball a little more. I don't think they were going to – I just don't see them going to the run game. So I think they play the Lions this week. They're going to stack the box. And he's had back-to-back 19 PPR points the last 2 weeks. So he also led the team in rushing last week, 3 for 46 with a touchdown. So that's not too bad. He's out there, but I'd go grab him.
Do you have any other pickups?
I got Zach Charbonnet. If Walker's down, he's not going on the IR, so he might just miss 1 week or so. But I picked him up just as a handcuffed Walker, just in case he went down. So if Zach Charbonnet is out there, I'd go grab him. And then he did carry the ball 15 times for 47 yards. But the key for him, he had 6 passes. That got him 12.9 PPR points. But they play the 49ers this week, which would be a pretty tough game. But then they play Dallas, and they go back and play the 49ers again. But I think he get double digits. I don't think he's going to score real big points. But if you're looking for somebody, he might be somebody to grab.
Yeah.
Just to tap on, like, add on what you said. That Seattle schedule they got, I've had some people, I've been offered, Kenneth Walker a few times, and I just have no interest in Kenneth Walker because that schedule they have coming up is just insane with the Cowboys, the Niners, I think, and there's some other good teams thrown in there too, but it's ridiculous.
Yep, it is.
Speaking of Zach Charbonnet, I had him rostered in that sleeper league all season because Kenneth Walker had looked pretty bad, after I think week 4. I'm pretty big on stashing RBs just in case. And then I keep them all year until last week. I trade him to you, and then Kenneth Walker goes down, probably out for a couple weeks. But yeah, those matchups are pretty tough. But his receiving upside can help save him.
Yeah, that is true because they should have some good game script for catching the ball, for him catching some balls. So.
Yeah,
he's pretty explosive too. I've been watching him play when he gets touches. He's pretty explosive. He could be good in the future. Now that I have him sleeper, he might. I don't know. I don't got many keepers on my team, so we might have to look into that.
Who's your who you looking to pick up, Jaden?
You guys touched on a lot of the people I think need to be at on waivers, but one person I had it is a very desperate play. Very desperate play is just with Aaron Jones being out. I said AJ Dillon. If you're slim at the running back or flex position, why not? He'll be the lead back for this game. So they play the Lions, so not the best matchup. Maybe not even the best game script, but if you're very thin, then it's worth a shot. I think he projects like 12 in PPR leagues.
Yeah,
but I also like Jaden Reed a lot as well, so I do like that waiver wire.
It's kind of unrelated, but you kind of just spoke about it about a bad game script. To me, any division game, I basically throw out anything that I know about how good these teams are. The environments are different for division games, so you could think the Lions are going to blow out the Packers, but I expect them to kind of keep it close. So AJ Dillon, he could have a better week than.
Yeah, I agree with that because you've seen how the Bears played the Lions last week. They should have won the game, honestly. So there's no reason the Packers can't go out there and do the same thing. So
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I got a couple players to look at on waivers. Demario Douglas, he's only 24% rostered. They had their bye last week. Before their bye, he scored 10 plus PPR points in his last 3 or 4 games. He had 14.4 PPR points with 9 targets in his last game that he played. We could be seeing a quarterback change and possibly Bailey Zappi. He's shown flashes before, start-worthy flashes. I could see this change helping him more than hurting him. That's Demario Douglas. He's worth a shot. I got him in a couple teams. And then my other one is Romeo Doubs of the Packers. He's coming off another great week with 16.3 PPR points. Romeo Doubs has 11 plus PPR points in 7 to 10 games this year. He and Jordan Love have connected in the end zone. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year. If you need a receiver who isn't a bad option, I'd look for Romeo Doubs as well. All right. Who's your sleeper of the week, Chris?
Well, we brought him up earlier. Flash from the past, Greg Dortch of the Cardinals. 6 for 76, and he had 1 catch all year coming in. He was probably inactive or I don't even know what. He wasn't even listed in anything. So you're reaching thin, and a lot of guys are with all these injuries going on. Greg Dortch of the Cardinals.
Yep. You got a sleeper of the week, Jade?
Well, yeah, we already touched on the waiver wire segment, but Jaden Reed is my sleeper. I played him last week, and when I was playing him, I tell you, I was getting mad watching that Packers game because I'm like, they're over here handing the ball off. He's their leading rusher. He's catching balls. He's getting in the end zone on handoffs. They obviously want to get him more involved, get him 3 touches in the run game, and target him a lot more. So I like him a lot. Definitely is a sleeper. Not a lot of people. I don't think. I've been kind of on him a little bit this season, like leading up. Never really had a lot of trust into him, but these last 2 weeks, he put up back-to-back 19-plus point performances in the PPR league. So he's definitely a good option.
Yeah.
And yeah, we already kind of touched on the waiver wire segment, but yeah, definitely a sleeper.
Just taking a look from last year's stats for Greg Dortch. He had, let's see, 2, 3, 4. He had 4 games with over 9 targets, and all of them led to 12 plus PPR points. When he's seeing the ball, he does pretty good. So that could be a good pickup.
Do you know if he was injured or something? He's just been non-existent the whole year.
I think he's played. I think he's been more of a, what is he? Is he a returner? Is he a punt returner or something? I don't think he's been in the receiving game like at all.
I try not to watch the Cardinal games.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, I don't watch him either.
He was one of Kyler Murray's, favorite targets last year, and he's been back for 2 weeks, and now he's starting to come around. So
Hollywood's been slowing down too. Hollywood does not look good the last couple of weeks, so that's interesting.
So my sleeper of the week, kind of same as Jaden's. We talked about in the waiver wire. It's going to be Demario Douglas. He plays the New York Giants, a team who has given up the second most fantasy points to wide receivers all year. The defense has been decimated by injuries, and Douglas has a great matchup. So, if you're desperate for a start, look at Demario Douglas.
Yeah,
all right. Let's do a little ranking these players rest of the season. So, rank these quarterbacks rest of the season on who you'd like the best and the worst. Got Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. Chris, why don't you give me your ranking on those?
Well, I got a couple Patrick Mahomes on my team, so he's definitely last. He has not performed. His guys cannot catch anything. My God, it's just terrible. I feel bad for him, but I feel bad for myself for drafting him, I think. I think I got to go with Lamar, 1, Justin Herbert, 2, and then Patrick Mahomes, 3. And, I mean, I might start Fields. Jaden, you might have a star on your team.
I do. I mean, I don't know, man. Might be looking to maybe a keeper next year. I don't even know he's gonna be Chicago, but hopefully he lands somewhere.
18 rushes for 100 and some yards. Holy cow!
Yeah, he's good when he plays.
That's my list there, Coop.
All right, Jaden, what's your ranking of those 3? Herbert, Lamar, and Mahomes.
Yeah. So this is all fantasy based, obviously. So I'm also gonna have Mahomes last. His receivers are just. I don't even know what to make of that receiver room. One thing I said it last time I was on here, Kelsey's only performs when T Swift is in the building now, so you got to take that into account. You don't know how many games he's going to be able to make the rest of the season. So yeah, Mahomes going to be last. Herbert, I'm going to put second. And I'm going to put Lamar first. Simply, Lamar obviously always has a rushing upside. I just love, I've always been a big fan of Lamar, and his rushing upside is going to put him over Herbert. But Herbert's been performing well, aside from he had that dud week, against the Jets. He had a dud week, 7. Yeah, 7 points right here. But I mean, he's an easy 20 plus a game guy. So I like him a lot too. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put Lamar first. I like Lamar a lot. Mark Andrews going down is gonna affect him though, so I would take that into account. But I mean, Isaiah Likely, when he played last year, he was good. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna affect him too much. He got Bateman, Flowers, Odell still. So yeah.
All right, rank these tight ends. Got Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride, and George Kittle. Why don't you go, Chris?
I think Kittle's going to finish the year pretty good. He's been playing real good lately, and I like the way he's out there just manhandling everybody. So I got Kittle 1. Well, these are hard.
Yeah, I made him that way for a reason.
These are hard.
Trey McBride, he's been getting a lot of targets, but he does have a different quarterback now. So, crap. I'm gonna go Kincaid number 2, then McBride, and I'm going Sam Laporta last, just because he's slowed way down. He was the stud of the first half, but I haven't watched a lot of Lion games either, and he's just not done much lately. He's on your team, so you probably got a better idea.
Yeah, he's slowed down a little bit. Jameson Williams seen a couple more touches. David Montgomery's healthy again, so it's kind of slowing his involvement. I mean, they're probably the best rushing offense in the league. Plus, they pass pretty well. How would you rank those, Jaden?
So yeah, Kittle's been looking like resurged over these, these last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, no, 3 weeks almost. 4. It's been a good stretch now. I don't know, 3-4 weeks. Purdy's back to playing good after that terrible 3-week stretch he had.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Kittle just does everything. I like him a lot. I'm gonna put Kittle first. Representing Iowa as is Sam Laporta, but touching on the Iowa tight ends, I'm also gonna Laporta just slowed down a lot. He's still putting up good numbers, considering how bad tight end position is in fantasy. But I mean, he was just on such like a crazy run of unit season. I mean, you knew he had to come down off it eventually, and it kind of looks like he's trending towards that. I'm putting him fourth. McBride, I actually like McBride. He's been really he's been like a solid pickup since Ertz went down. I am gonna put him. I kind of looked into? I don't really know when Dawson Knox supposed to come back. So
I don't think they know because I
yeah,
mean,
they've been kind of
he broke his wrist or something. He had
yeah.
surgery.
So as long as Knox is out, Kincaid's gonna be second on my list because he's so good when he's the tight end one there. So Kincaid's second, and I'm putting McBride at third.
Yep. All right, let's rank these wide receivers: Amari Cooper, Nico Collins, DeAndre Hopkins, and Calvin Ridley. And this is rest of the season. Rank those, Jaden.
I'm just automatically. I got him on my fantasy team for the past 2 years. I love him, but Amari Cooper is gonna go to last. His production with DTR is just not gonna be that high. Since Watson gone out, his numbers without Watson just aren't appealing at all. I'm gonna put him last. The Titans are just so I don't understand them. I don't know. I don't trust Hopkins at all, though. With that being said, Will Levis has had flashes, but I'm gonna put Hopkins third. Nico is gonna be put at second for me, only because he has been so good this season when he played. But like I said, I'm really big Tank Dell fan. He's been emerging, so Nico's gonna slide down to that second spot in my rankings and in that wide receiver room. So and then last, I'm gonna put Ridley. He's looked really good. He looked really good last week, like really good, and I think I trust Calvin Ridley a lot, so I'm gonna put him at first for the rest of the season. I think he's gonna continue to perform.
Why don't you rank those, Chris?
I'm going to rank the quarterbacks because these guys are all pretty equal. So I'm going Nico 1 because his quarterback's the hottest. Shoot, I might change my mind. Maybe Ridley number 2.
Yeah.
Lawrence, he's probably the second best, and then Hopkins and Amari. Hopkins and Amari they have no quarterback, so.
I'm gonna go ahead and rank these. I think you guys are forgetting the biggest thing: Joe Flacco.
I forgot.
The GOAT. Yes. Joe Flacco. No, but
you can chuck it.
I think he started 3 games last year for the Jets, and he had 300 yards in all 3.
He was not bad at all.
He's just a competent quarterback. If you give Amari Cooper an okay quarterback, he's going to do big things.
He's a statue. He's just going to stand back there.
No, yeah, he's not moving. He's not moving out of that pocket.
So I'll go. Oh, I don't even know. All right,
yeah, this one's hard.
I'm gonna go. I got faith. Calvin Ridley number 1, only if Zay Jones stays healthy. He's got 100 yards in all the games that Zay Jones has played with him. He completely changes the routes that Calvin Ridley runs when he's there. So I'll go Calvin Ridley 1. It's a bold take. I'll go Nico Collins 2, Amari Cooper 3, and then D-Hop 4. All right, let's finish up with running backs. Got Jahmyr Gibbs, Alvin Kamara, Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, and Tony Pollard. Why don't you rank those, Jaden?
Yeah, so for this one, oh man, you definitely made these tough. I'm not gonna lie. That Jets offense, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw Breece. I don't know, but he performs even with how bad their offense has been, so that's why it's so tough. I feel like I'm gonna put him 5th, just because the Jets offense is terrible. And like I said, he still has performed even with how bad they've been. So I do like him, but I'm just put him 5th. Jahmyr Gibbs. With Monty coming back, Gibbs is still very good, but Monty's obviously always going to take, some goal line touches from him. He's going to take some work from him. So I'm putting him 4th. I like him a lot, though. He's really good, explosive. Saquon is going to be 3rd. No, I lied. Pollard's going to be 3rd. He just can't seem to find the end zone up until, week 1, and then, last week was he finally got back in there?
Yeah, against the worst
against
run
the Jets,
defense
that's
in
what
the
I'm
league.
saying. Yeah, so I don't know. Pollard's touchdown's just not there. I'm gonna put Saquon 2nd. He just absolute. Well, we're not gonna talk about what the Giants did to us last week, but Saquon is just he's always able to perform no matter the given situation. So I'm gonna put him 2nd, and then Kamara's gonna go number 1. Since he's come back, he's been really good. Losing Derek Carr definitely hurt him because Derek Carr is just a check down merchant, and he had like over 10 receptions in multiple games, but I like Kamara a lot, and he's always going to be that RB1 there, so I like him as my first.
All right, why don't you rank those, Chris? You got Gibbs, Kamara, Hall, Saquon, and Pollard.
Yeah, I think Jahmyr Gibbs. I like him the best. He's the most athletic guy out there, I think. And Montgomery is going to steal a few touches here and there, but it's starting to tilt. Was Montgomery, Gibbs as the backup? It's switching around right now. I think Gibbs is number 1, and Monty's going to be in there, and he's going to get his goal line touches. But I think that's turning the tide there. Kamara's number 2. Oh man.
It's tough.
I mean, I go with Saquon 3, Bryce 4, and I got Tony Pollard on my team. I hate to say it, but he's probably 5th. He did score a touchdown, but yoo-hoo! I mean, he ain't doing nothing. He's my first round pick in the last pick of the draft, but
yeah,
no, not this year.
All right, I'll go ahead and rank these two. I'll take Kamara 1. I'll take Jahmyr 2. I'll do Saquon 3, Brees 4, and then Pollard 5. All right. So let's finish off with our bets of the week. My bet of the week, I'm going to go a little out of my comfort zone here. I'm going to go more than plus 100 odds. I'm going to do a no sweat same game parlay on FanDuel for 400 plus odds. I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown, David Montgomery anytime touchdown, Amon-Ra St. Brown 60 yards, and then David Montgomery 40 yards. If you use FanDuel, you can do that no sweat same game parlay. Bet $5. If it loses, you get your money back. What's your bet of the week, Chris?
All right, my bet of the week is a Thanksgiving Day special. We got 3 games on Thanksgiving. I got a 4 TD game. Pollard of the Lions. If you like Gibbs, go with Gibbs. But I'm going with that goal line back. David Montgomery has a touchdown. Since the Commanders are so bad, sorry, Jake. They gave up their whole defense. Their defense is sad. I got a shocker, Tony Pollard to get those odds up for a touchdown. I can see CeeDee Lamb scoring. And then the gimme is going to be Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers. So $10 will get you 62.
I got one more bet of the week. You got $1 lying around. Bet on Antonio Gibson to score 4 rushing touchdowns against.
I got a quick bet of the week too, bro. That is insane.
What's your bet of the week, Jaden?
So mine's just a 6 leg on the new ESPN bet app. And then they also have a promo where if you miss by 1 leg, you get your money back. So it's gonna be Jahmyr Gibbs line on there 7.5 rushing attempts. I'm gonna take his over on that. Packers run defense sucks too, so yeah. I'm gonna ride over 5.5 receptions. He's at the line, I think, every game, and once again, the Packers defense just sucks. I'm gonna go Monty anytime touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Monty over half a receiving yard. He just needs to catch a ball basically. Every game he's caught a ball, he's hit that, obviously. Anders Carlson, the Green Bay Packers kicker, over 4.5 kicking points. And then Alex Anzalone over 6.5 tackles plus assists. He's been tackling everything he sees lately. That's plus 11:30, and it'll give you some enjoyment for that first game, which might be a snooze fest. So there you go.
We got a kicker's prop.
Yep, kicker's prop.
We need
I want to see some
call
field goals.
1-800-BETS off when you start betting on.
when you see the Green Bay get down to that field goal range and you start seeing Jordan Love not producing, he's gonna hit 2 field goals. I'm calling it, or he's gonna hit a field goal and 2 extra points. If Romeo Dobbs keeps getting in the end zone, trust it.
Alrighty, that'll do it for the Party Talk podcast. We'll catch you next time. Hey,
Look at man.
Make sure you're tuning in. We might be talking a little NBA here soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
NBA season.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. Have a good one.
Very happy thing.